I'm Steve Stevens, and this is my home, which I'm trying to have be totally solar powered, not just for the house, but also for the transportation and for food. So you'll notice
there's the food.
Yeah, the food's cooking there.
What's cooking now?
There's a casserole that's got 12 kinds of beans and quinoa and brown rice and shiitake mushrooms, and then it does pretty well. Then you see the photovoltaic panels. There's 4 of them sticking up out of the 48 in the house.
How many kilowatts do you have?
10.
Okay.
And then these 2 cars are both powered by the sun.
This is that was a Prius retrofitted to be a plug-in, and this is a Chevy Volt.
A Chevy Volt, yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the food production, because it's good to have local food, I've got a lot of garden and fruit trees. So this is a dwarf peach tree, and you can see the peaches coming here. Colorado's a good peach state. Yeah. This is a pear tree just planted this year, so it's a little bit slower in coming out. And then there's plum tree 5 and 1, and then a couple more plums that are new. And then apple trees have been here 3 years, and so the apples are coming well this year.
Mm-hmm. I see them.
For May 10th. They're doing.
That's your composter.
This is the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies was named after this. This is the sugar plum, and it's just budding out because it's new plant.
Grape arbor.
Grape arbor for eating grapes. I don't like to stain my feet red, but you can see how heavily laden they're going to be.
Oh, yeah.
They're just amazingly heavily laden this year. As long as we don't get a hailstorm, they're really going to be good. So the veggies, the peas are up, and the spinach, and I've been eating the lettuce. I've been eating lettuce. I've been eating a lot of things. This is a Russian red kale. Mm-hmm. There's beets. And this is the more tender crops. And these peas are already in bloom.
Mm-hmm. So the petunias are to keep away insects.
Keep away insects, right? Marigolds is what they are.
Lots of chives I see around the outside. Is that
a lot of onions? Red onions, yellow onions, and white onions around the side.
Mm-hmm. Is that for protection of summer service?
That does, but it's also good for eating.
Okay.
And then the cilantro, the baby bok choy, the kale, another kind of kale, radishes, and chard.
Okay.
And, now, the new addition is a passive solar collector, and you'll get that from 3 standpoints, but it also has this new deck. And the deck symbolizes the construction approach. The glass panels, instead of balusters, are recycled Safeway ice cream freezer doors. I've tried
plate
to
glass,
use
then.
They're triple glazed tempered.
Oh, triple glazed.
Triple glazed tempered, which on the outside doesn't matter because you're not a thermal issue.
Right.
But they're tempered on the outer 2 sides.
Okay.
And they were recycled from a Safeway.
So one key of sustainability is not having things manufactured new.
Yep.
Using old stuff.
Now the other thing I'll mention, the whole deck material is all coal lumber.
Oh, okay.
And so all of this red...
From Lowe's?
From Lowe's. Be careful, don't step off the edge.
Okay.
But it's all Lowe's lumber that I worked hard to make it pretty.
Yeah.
And to get it straight, which is not what it was. Under the deck, I've put a little bit of a drain to the side so that the lawnmower has protection.
Okay.
So that's just... Now, this is an airlock to the greenhouse. The lowest level is a greenhouse. And I like airlocks. You'll see that throughout. So this room, and I'll turn the light on, is the airlock. And so these tanks, I haven't yet, because the project is still being done. It's not finished yet.
Okay.
But there's 4 tanks that'll be filled with water, and that's thermal mass.
Right.
And then down at the bottom, 2 more tanks for thermal mass. So this airlock is a service area, potting shed for the garden and for the greenhouse. This is another Safeway ice cream freezer door, and this is a door that was ordered the wrong size, and therefore the $1,700 door was $225, fiberglass, so it can take the moisture. That's a $4,000 triple glaze with shutters, aluminum wrap, Pella French door that was $600 because it was misordered.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of.
How do you find misordered doors?
They have them sit in the middle of an aisle with marked
At
down
Lowe's?
things at Lowe's.
Oh, okay.
Now, Home Depot marks down 10 or 20%, puts them up in the rafters and leaves them there until they finally destroy them. Lowe's drops the price and drops the price and drops the price until they sell.
Okay, and has them on the ground.
And has them on the ground in a cart in their way.
Okay.
So they're motivated to
Great.
drop the price.
Okay, let's go into the greenhouse.
Yeah, now it's going to be steamy on your lens.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, this is hot.
Yeah,
This is a hothouse.
yeah. But this is mandarin oranges on the mandarin orange tree. That's banana trees. That's an orange. There's a lime over there and a kumquat, then another banana. I'm going to see what will happen indoors with early squash and tomatoes, but mainly I started stuff in here to put out.
Okay, and is that a radon there? What is that?
No, that's a climate battery. It's taking the hot air off the top, running it through these tubes and out here, and I'll turn the thermostat to trigger it right now.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you feel down there, you'll feel
Oh,
cool
yeah.
air come out.
Because it's
Or hot
leaving
air
the
in.
heat in the dirt.
So it's putting in the dirt. And plants like warm toes. So that is storing. So there's 3 here, 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 and here under this dirt. There's 3 under that dirt.
Well, that's why 3 tubes. They're
That's why
different
three-
elevations,
different elevations.
different depths.
Yeah, and staggered.
Yeah. Okay, turn off the fan so we can hear you better. Okay, and the tank behind you is thermal
the
mass?
tank is thermal mass plus it's a watering tank.
Oh, okay.
So I can fill up my bucket
Okay.
to do watering.
Okay, so anything else here before we go upstairs?
But for winter, on Craigslist, I got all these expensive shades, dirt cheap, and they drop, and so it gives it extra insulating layer.
Okay.
And the other thing to point out is the window on this end. Typically, a west side, you don't want to have glass because you don't want to get too much heat in the summer. But there's a double glazed low-E, a double glazed low-E out there.
Together
Together, it's very little. I mean, I'm less than 0.1 for my solar heat gain.
Okay.
Typical window is 0.78. Now the south side, this is triple wall polycarbonate. The solar heat gain on this is almost 0.8, so it's 8 times the solar heat gain
Okay,
on that.
and what's the window at the end?
It's a tempered because I have a stair behind.
Yeah, yeah.
If people were to fall forward, it has to
Okay.
stop them and not have shards that would cut them.
Okay.
And so these are all, by the way, fiberglass frame instead of to take the heat.
I'm guessing you didn't buy that window new.
These were all new but misordered.
Yeah, oh,
All
right, so
misordered.
they're really new.
So that was
Now what's-
$100. Now this is I'm playing with letting light come in the back for the back row.
Oh, okay.
And so I've wrapped with sun oven aluminum the beams, and that's another Safeway ice cream freezer door, triple glazed tempered. And above I've got a little. So that's just I'm
Okay.
playing with things to see
Okay,
how it'll.
okay, let's get out of here. I'm sweating.
Okay.
What's the temperature in there?
Right now it is 92. Jim, before we go inside, I want to talk about some stuff that people usually overlook, and that is the insulation of the house foundation. When I got the house, the earth was down here on this north side. I dug 4 foot and put 5 inches of foam insulation, which gives me an R35, and then I took spare dirt from my projects, built it up, brought these rocks from the backyard where the greenhouse is going to go as decor, put them on, and all of these rocks are pulled out of the ground when I've planted things, because this is just a rocky area. So I've 2 aspects, the foam and the earth berming on the north side.
But didn't you also foam this one as
I
well?
foamed
You dug it
all
out.
of this side, I dug down 4 foot and did all of this side and the whole back side. I haven't yet done the east side,
Yeah.
but I may.
Yeah.
I have projects going.
And one thing that people forget about sustainability is that the fossil fuel cost of transporting things like boulders from great distances is something you have to consider. And by bringing these boulders from your backyard to your front yard, you were saving that burning that fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Okay, I see here we have your north-facing airlock. Let's go in the house through the airlock.
Okay, well, I want to take you the other way, but we'll come here and we'll just open it up.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the old front door is right here, and you'll notice the building permit is there because I haven't finished the back project.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not the tidiest right now, but it's a mudroom.
This was concrete. You put an elevated floor
I
in.
put an elevated floor with the foam, so it's R40 underneath, and it's the old threshold.
Okay. And of course, by having an airlock, you prevent air penetration,
Yeah.
cold air penetration in the winter.
Yeah, Jules Verne did that in the Nautilus in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And the space shuttle does it.
Yeah. So they're really as smart as you. That's great.
No, I'm copying.
Oh, you mean you learned from them? They didn't learn from you?
From Jules Verne.
Where do you want to go now? Oh, we're going in through the deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the latest addition is the passive solar, which is kind of an odd shape back here, but it includes this deck, which was an afterthought. I wanted initially to get a lot more solar gain, so I went straight back on my plans from the house, and then I said that's not enough, so I moved it out to the building lot line, to the
Setback line.
but that gave me a north wall on my passive solar. So then I turned the corner and came this way, and that gave me an airlock, and because the setback was there, I couldn't do stairs to the west. I had to do the stairs this way, but it was not going to be tidy unless I put a deck on. So the deck is a consequence of the other design, but if you notice, it happens to give a pleasant mountain view.
Yep, sure does.
So coming in then to the airlock, I like everything to have two purposes at least. So this is the airlock, and it's also the bicycle garage.
Oh, yeah.
For the daily riding bikes. They tuck into here very well.
Yeah.
And I've super insulated this.
Just from simple hooks.
Just from simple hooks.
You probably bought those, you know.
Those were $1.49.
Okay.
And so we'll pull that door shut because we're in an airlock.
Oh, yeah, right. So, close this.
And we'll kick off
Our shoes. Okay.
Now, Jim, I've left this not pumping into the house yet for the heat here. The sun's pretty high in May, so I'm not collecting near the heat I did in January. But you'll see what I've designed for ventilation for summer, for heat gain in winter. Since it's going to be cold the next 2 days, I'm going to be pumping heat after you leave into the house.
Okay. Nice wood floor. I bet it's reused lumber.
This is all redwood. All of the wood you see here is redwood. And it's all cull redwood, meaning
New.
that it was new, but it was factory,
Reject.
forest. It was reject at the store. It was the stuff that they couldn't sell off. Now, for glazing, this window is solar heat gain 0.18, which is very low, because it's the west, and I don't want to get heat. But I want to have a good ventilation capability. It has an R value of 3.9, the reciprocal of this. It has 18% of the solar heat gain and visual transmittance 4. But on the west side, where you'd usually avoid to the window, I wanted a window for the lovely outside. And these are they're nice casement windows. Now here, the main feature is that you have an envelope wall. All of these windows, the 4, were misordered again, and they're fiberglass. They were $465 for $50. You can't pass that up. And then that's the inner layer. This is all low E, the inner layer. By the way, these are more ice cream freezer doors.
Oh, okay. How many did you get? A dozen?
I got 28 of them.
Wow.
And I've only used 11, so I have some more. Now, when it gets real hot, the outer layer, those will open. And up above, I have venting windows that I can control here and here.
Okay, there's a cord there, right?
And over here. Okay, so I've got 4 windows at lunch. 3 I can vent from right down here. And I do that, and then I open this one, and when I shut this and that, all of a sudden, that whole heat gain area, that whole envelope, which goes up into the attic here, and in the winter, that will pump into the house. I haven't yet done that duct work through the attic, but you will see what happens there. And I'll bring down this door. Now, since I don't have the final ducting, I do have temporary fan to bring the heat down and then pump it in. Now, this is very hot, because if you look at the thermometers for a second, it's 108 here. It's 130. Get a shot on that.
I haven't.
At this angle.
Yeah, true. Wow.
That's what's in the envelope. And then up in the crest, it's 140. Zoom in up to the top.
Oh yeah, there I see the thermometer.
Okay. So I have amazing amounts of available heat, and I haven't yet done the ductwork, the attic, to take it to the north side of the house.
Okay.
All the materials to take that heat to the north side of the house are up here. I just haven't got to that because I'm doing gardening for the summer, so that's a fall project.
Okay, got it.
But
besides, you don't need it till the fall.
Don't need it till the fall. Now the other thing, so this is a temporary fan. What you're going to notice is that above there are, and you may want to just go up about a step. There's 4 shelves up there. It'll be a little warm to touch, but there's 4 polycarbonate shelves, and those are.
Oh, these shelves over here, yeah. Boy, my feet are getting hot.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Those shelves, that's the food preservation area. I bring the grapes in, and I bring the peaches in, and the apples, put them up there, and I have dried fruit for winter.
Yeah.
Okay, naturally dried.
You don't consider yourself a survivalist, right?
No, I don't.
You're not expecting the end of the world.
No, I'm not.
You're just being sustainable.
Yeah, because I don't have to buy all those things.
Yeah.
I'm on a fixed pension.
Okay.
So no, I don't have gun turrets around and all of that. I'm not. That's not.
But survivalists might really like this.
A survivalist would like it, but he'd have the gun turrets too.
Yes, right.
Now, the lights here, you'll notice LEDs that throw both up and out.
Yeah.
LEDs have really been evolving.
Yeah, how much are those today?
They were down to 15 on Earth Day.
Oh, well, good.
And now the first LEDs that I put in were $4 and $3 at Sam's Club. They didn't put out as much light, and they were more
Yeah, I bought
directional.
some of those.
Yeah, and I have a lot of them around still.
I do too.
I'm going to shut this for a second because I don't want to be dumping.
Why don't you want to now? Because it's going to be cold.
It's gonna be cold.
If the next days were warm, you'd have that out.
I'd have
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd be totally venting. Now notice that envelope to the up, that vents and doesn't get in here. Here I have end to end. I have that slides and that opens.
So we could be more comfortable than we are now.
Infinitely more, because all the
But you're
heat,
saving heat because.
I'm saving heat.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be
In
cold
other
the
words,
next
I
few
should have
days.
shot this yesterday.
No, but I wanted you to see the 130 there and
Oh,
the
okay.
140 up there.
Oh, okay, got it.
But on a day in summer, this is going to be passed through here.
It'll be comfortable.
It'll be comfortable, and that'll be passed through in and up, chimney
Yeah.
effect. So
Right.
I'll be able to dump everything. I'll be able to collect it in the winter, run it to the north side of the house. I'll be able to reject it in the summer with 2 layers of ventilation.
Yeah, great.
I'll just mention, for winter nights, that's a double layer, and then this makes this side a double layer.
Yeah.
And I want to very quickly point out,
And those are cellular.
these are cellular. Yeah.
So they
And I want to quickly point out, everybody knows, of course, that Santa, before the reindeer learned how to fly, did his deliveries on bike.
Yes, I heard that.
And
I think from you.
yeah, but he's concerned about climate change because if we really get a polar ice melt, his whole investment goes to the bottom of the Arctic. And Hunter Lovins, when she spoke in Golden 2
Yes,
days ago,
right.
said that should happen by 2030 unless we change
Wow.
our direction.
Right.
So after 2030, there would not be a Christmas.
Not a white Christmas.
Not a toy Christmas.
Or Santa would have to retire.
Santa's whole workshop would be at the bottom of the Arctic.
Yeah, I got it. Because it is, after all, on floating ice.
Yeah. Now, I'll just real quickly. No, let's go this way.
Okay.
This, and try to avoid shooting over there. This is the first sunroom, and that I built, and it's where the deck was rotten. Yeah, and you notice it is the clothes dryer. It's a conference room.
Without sun, though, it's just from the warmth.
Well, here, right now, we're far enough into the season that the shade of the overhang.
Right.
So this is designed with overhang.
Passive solar, yeah.
The other one doesn't have overhang, but it has ventilation. And when I got the house, this is the view. The neighbor lot had all of these trees, which are amazingly big. So I talked to them because I wanted to make the house passive solar, and they said fine, that we could have them topped. And so I paid professional people, and so I came up with a solar access agreement, and they signed. So I have the right to keep the trees, which are 150-foot maximum trees, down to a reasonable height, so I get the solar gain. And so this space can grow things, but the things that were here in pots are now downstairs. This one is still here, and that's pomegranate. The process of this is the old back of the house, and this room, there's the upper deck.
That's where we are now.
That's where, yeah, and that's
Except now
this
it's an
perimeter.
enclosed sunroom.
Yep, and I came out further and further that way. This is where the new one is.
Yeah.
And by the way, got rid of the fireplace over there because it was totally uninsulated, top, mids, and the brick inside super cold. It basically went away. And then that gas barbecue went away to sun ovens. And the clothesline came inside with the building of this. So you see the progression. I drew up my plans, and then there's the old deck gone.
Right. Oh, you actually took it off now.
It was rotten.
Oh, okay.
And so this
Built
is
a new deck.
built a new deck.
Use
This is all
coal lumber.
Coal lumber.
New lumber, but it's coal.
But coal, so you had to twist it. Then this is coal polyiso with an OSB. That's the subfloor under the bamboo. Okay. So, and then these are the recycled patio doors that I tested to make sure that they were high E, so I'd get good sun. But on the other side, low E, because it's east. So the south is, here's the overhang, so it's a seasonal gain. I call this the Maui room because Maui was a solar energy proponent.
Right.
He climbed Mount Haleakala, and at noon cast his net to the skies, capturing the sun, and dug in his heels and slowed it down. And that's why there's other things in Hawaii other than just Polynesian fishing boats.
I lived in Maui for 2 years.
Oh, now you'll notice a carbon footprint plus Maui. Yeah, the text on that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Plus Maui looking and catching the sun
Right.
gives you a shadow of the carbon footprint.
I got it.
And then with super insulation, you get to no carbon footprint.
Right. It's missing.
It's missing.
Yeah.
Now that insulation, that brings us to insulation.
Okay.
What I've done is to change a lot of the walls on the inside. So when you look in the bedroom, you will see the redwood, and you'll see a big sill that didn't used to be there.
Right.
And this is what has happened to that wall.
You thickened your walls by that much?
There's the old wall
5 pieces of...
of 1.5 inch each.
Right.
So that's 7.5 inches at R7
Wow.
is R53 added on the inside to basically an R10 wall. And so we're up above R60. The inner one having OSB as a good screwing surface to put on the redwood.
Of course.
Now, the redwood
The others are glued.
yeah. And I've screwed with these long screws through everything.
Oh, okay.
But for the final finish, I've taken cull redwood, routed it.
Yeah, I see the route.
So that it is lapped.
Oh, got it. Got it. Okay. And the value of lapping?
As things dry a little bit, you won't have an open gap. Because a redwood, all wood after you put it up in a house, will shrink a little bit.
Okay.
So this will make it so that even after it shrinks that little bit,
yeah,
it's got an overlap.
Yeah, so it can shrink about a 1/16 of an inch.
Which is as much as it will.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I never thought of that.
Yeah. So that's what the dining room and the master bedroom.
Exterior
This
walls.
is the den, and instead of redwood, I used coal channel pine. So it's already an overlap. And different size, because all of this was reject materials because it's just out of spec on cut. So I have different thicknesses. So every room I sort the piles and I make what'll work.
Yeah, right.
Now avoid the mess here.
Now we're entering what used to be the exterior door.
Yeah. And so, by the way, there's no lights on in the house.
Right. These are Solitubes. Well, they're not Solitube brand. I know they're...
These are sun tunnels by Velux.
Yeah, right. I have the same ones because you mentioned it.
Yeah, and they light so far over into the corners.
Yeah.
There you can see.
Look how bright
They are so able to spread that they go way into the corner and you don't get a dark spot.
That's true.
It's amazing when you look up there how, and the other thing I want to point out on this, everybody thinks if you put a sun tunnel on a north slope, it won't catch the sun. These are on a north slope. They are lighting this space that doesn't have a window anyplace near because they have that dome. That's a big collector.
Yeah.
So, and so they light the antique Colorado bike photos amazingly well.
Yeah, right.
So, by the way, I have all kinds of books on solar and on the various issues that abound here, and then the weather station.
Okay.
But I will just come over and we'll look closely, and don't catch the piles of stuff here, but we'll just look closely at
how thick the wall is. Yeah.
Now come down, and there is the electrical outlet.
That's how far away the wall was.
And that's
about a foot in, isn't it?
Yeah, there's the heating duct. Okay.
Oh, there's the heating duct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't relocate. I didn't have to do any electrical work. I didn't have to do any heat duct work. And it's all the redwood over all of that.
That's not lapped, though.
Oh, well, actually, it is. It has
shrunk a little.
It's shrunk, but you see the wood behind. It is.
Okay, you couldn't stick a.
You couldn't get past there, right?
There,
you can only go. Now don't go in the kitchen because it's a mess. You'll cut.
Are we done then?
We are basically done, except we're going to go downstairs and look at the heat pump water heater.
Okay.
Turn it off.
Let's go.
Here we are in the furnace room, and this is a furnace I put in about 7 years ago. It's 95.5% efficient, replacing the 60 to 65% efficient original 1970s furnace. You can tell that it's efficient because it's running the combustion gases in, it's sealed, and then the combustion gases back out through a sidewall and plastic pipes, which makes it so the old chimney is not used, and we'll look at the chimney in a second. But before we do, the water heater is replaced, and it was a natural gas, and now it's a heat pump water heater. So it's electrically powered with power from the photovoltaic panels on the roof. It is powered, and the top, it's a 50-gallon tank in the bottom, and the top is basically an air conditioner or heat pump running backwards, takes the heat out of this room, which is driving it from the earth through the concrete floor, and it puts it into the water. This is amazingly efficient, and it helps me get away from natural gas. My goal is in a year to get rid of the natural gas line. Now, what you'll see is the old chimney flue for both the water heater and the furnace. That flue will be removed, and that gives me a channel from the attic to come down.
A chase,
right.
Yeah.
To come down, And I can, in that chase, bring two things. Number one, some of the hot air out of the sunroom. Most will go into the living room, but some will come down here. And the other thing that will allow me to do is to bring down another sun tunnel, turn it sideways, and this basement area will have a wall light at the very center.
Yeah, that's the neat thing about sun tunnels. You can go through a floor to a basement, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of these lights are different examples of LEDs.
Oh yeah, I see they're different.
I've been experimenting and just as a demonstration,
Yeah.
different LEDs.
Yeah, right, okay.
So I think you got it.
Okay, and those are all the features of this room, which is your Golden Oldie Museum.
The main bike.
How many of these penny farthing bikes do you have?
48.
48. How many of them are here?
28.
Oh, where are the rest?
30. Well, there are some on loan to friends. There's some in England being restored. There's some that are in pieces, not so they are a bike, except they're not a mountable bike.
Is this the largest collection of them in the world in one room?
No, it's one of the largest.
Yeah.
And so the bikes that preceded them, everybody thinks that these are
Right, the bone shakers.
Bone
shaker.
These are the bone shakers.
Yeah.
And these are the 1860s, and Golden, Colorado did have one of these, and it was Jim Boyd that rode it and had the first recorded accident on a bike in Colorado. He did it in May of '69, coming down the Ford Street Hill from the north, past the mill, and then, as the article said, his mount shied to the side, missed the bridge, and he went into the spring heavy runoff.
The mount being the bike.
Yes, the
not
mount
an
being
animal.
the bike, but that's they were using the language of the term.
And one should point out that all bicycles are solar powered.
And yes, because the energy source of the motor is the human,
Yeah.
and the energy source is food.
Yes.
And so the bikes are the most sustainable transportation.
Of course.
So these are early. This is the first design, and then this is the second design.
Right.
So
And you rode one of these. Which was the one you rode cross country?
it's a part for restoration right now.
Okay, but you rode one of these from coast to coast.
San Francisco to Boston.
How many days?
29 days, 9 hours, and 3 minutes. The old Guinness record was 33 days, 8 hours.
Oh, do you hold the current record?
Yeah. In the last
You mean
12
somebody
years,
actually
nobody's
did ride one of these cross country before you?
42 people.
Oh, wow.
The very first did it in 1884.
Yeah.
And here is the guy that did it in 1884.
I guess he didn't have any other vehicle, did he?
His name was Thomas Stevens. And this is
Any
his...
relation?
We come from common ancestors in England.
Really?
But this is the style and size bike that he did. And this is his route across the U.S., which is the route I did. It's the official Guinness record
okay.
route. And then when he got here, he went into the owner of the company that made it, who is Columbia Bikes, and it's Mr. Pope. And he said, oh, I'm going to give you a newer model, and you're going to go the rest of the way around the world and send back reports that I'm going to publish in the journal.
Wow.
And he went the rest of the way around the world in 1885 and 1886.
Wow. You going to do that?
I've already done the part as far across Europe.
Really?
To Bulgaria.
But not Asia.
I haven't done, because then you've got Turkey and Afghanistan and Pakistan and India, and those are, I did get an Iranian visa, but I didn't continue because I had a breakage on the bike and wasn't trusting it.
Oh, okay. Of course, you trust the Iranians. You just didn't trust the bike.
Oh, the joy of these bikes,
A friendship.
when you're on one of these, everybody smiles at you.
Right.
The world's a happier place
Is it
when
different
you ride
from-
a penny farthing bike.
Different,
That's my motto.
different from driving a tank
It's very different from driving a tank.
and more energy efficient.
Much more. We'll go upstairs and we'll do one last thing.
Okay.
I want to mention that when I first got the house, it was very, very hot. In the summers, it was unbearably hot. The previous owner was out with a hose spraying the roof and the west brick walls to try to be an external evaporative cooler. This is what my neighbors tell me. That wasn't in the real estate listing information. But I did several things. First, I put major ventilation in the roof. Second, I insulated the attic extremely heavy up to R100. And third, I installed an evaporative cooler. Now, we're in the sunroom, but when I did that, this was the deck. And this was intentionally put here, not on the roof, because if it's on the roof, it's taking hot roof air, and evaporative coolers drop from, they get a delta T, delta temperature, from the ambient to whatever the evaporation allows. If you start with hot air, you end up with less hot, but still not as cool. If you start with cool air, you're more cool. This is on the east side of the house, and below the eave, and the south side and the east side, and it puts it into what would be the west side going down the hall. The intention was you only run it in the evening, once you've insulated and everything. Colorado's evenings are when you get hot. So you only run in the evening. This would be in the shade. It's the coolest air around that I'm working with, and it worked beautifully. The first year I used it, I did have a current meter running for the whole season, and I used 800 kilowatt hours. I'm sorry, I used 80 kilowatt hours, which is $8 worth of electricity, and the temperature was never over 75 degrees in the house. Never over 75 for $8 at retail value. That was before I had the photovoltaic panels on the roof. Jim, before you leave, I want to mention one last thing. This is a 4th of July or patriotic bike. It's made in 1884. It has 13 red and white stripes, 38 white stars, and it follows the tradition of this photo from 1884 of a gentleman with a bike that was highly decorated for a 4th of July. Now I want to point out that there's a lot of kinds of patriotism, and this stands for rational patriotism. And for me, what that means is it's a patriotism not just blindly zero-sum game to my country, but a patriotism of my country's role in a responsible world, taking care of the whole earth. Therefore, you see the red and white and blue, but you also see the green tree.
Yes.
And you see down here that it's caring about the whole planet, which is what I've tried to do with the house. That's one reason I call the house the Sustainable Museum of Sustainable Transportation. It focuses on the transportation of the 19th century, early bicycles, and the 21st century, electric cars that are solar powered. Now, you'll see that bikes, as well as being transportation, can be very fun. This was a Greeley parade in 2004, and on July 5th, they ended up, that's this bike, and on July 5th, that was the whole front page, top to bottom, side to side of the Greeley Tribune.
That's you, of course.
Yeah, that was me with the little whiskers. This was at the convention on 16th Street Mall. You couldn't ride because no bikes are allowed. So 2008, and so walking. But that was front page of the Post the next day, and then this was front page of the Post after a different parade up in Greeley. So the red, white, and blue is not just something to be high school competitive to the neighbor town or the crosstown rivalry, but it's something really to say that you care about the world and all its people, your people and other people, in a way that will have it so everybody has a good place to live.
And that's what Jim. This house is all about, too.
Yeah,
thank you for being who you are.